Plastic plants are better than ever, but when you get right down to it, they just can't compare to the real thing. Coming up, a conversion from plastic to planted.
About 15 years now. Maintenance company with several different reef tanks, fish-only aquariums, and use it for all my purification needs. I mean, crystal clear water, no nutrients in there. It's a wonderful product.
Hi everyone, John here with my good dog Boone, and thousands of you have checked out the video I did when I originally set the aquarium up behind me with plastic plants and a bunch of neon tetras. It was a starter setup to show people how to set up aquariums. Well, after a couple of years of that, I have decided to go from plastic to planted. Here's how I did it. First, let's take a look at the setup. I've added 2 sets of 65K LED lights from Aquatop. These are in addition to my aging reef lighting, which is very blue compared to daylight lighting, which is much more yellow and more plant-friendly. I've also added CO2, carbon dioxide, which scares a lot of people, but it shouldn't. A bubble counter tells you how much CO2 you're pushing into the system, and a pretty diffuser turns it into little bubbles in the aquarium so the gas dissolves more quickly and it's available for the plants. The substrate was already an iron-rich gravel designed for planting from the original setup. There were already some bronze crypts in the aquarium, and I transplanted those months ago, so those will just stay in the tank right where they were. They seem to be doing okay under the earlier lighting. I'll also add 2 Amazon swords, some tall baby tears, ambulia, purple or red kabamba, and limnophilia. I purchased these from aquariumplants.com, and they all arrived in great shape. I was busy with work when they arrived, so I initially just pushed the bunches into the gravel for a few days. Now, a lot of people think that's all you need to do if you want a planted aquarium, but that's not true. These stem plants hate that. Just look at how they'd already begun to rot and die off at the bottom. So it's important to unwrap the base and plant each stem separately. It's best to shake off the dead vegetation and trim the stems to get rid of anything that looks mushy. Now, you should have a plan in mind for the bottom of your tank, and it's important to bunch your plants kind of like you would shrubs in front of your house. Now, contrast is an aquascaper's best friend, so put bright plants in front of dark ones and feathery plants near leafy ones, etc., etc. As always, plant short plants in front, tall plants in back, and everything else in the middle. Now, it's almost impossible to plant a nice, tight group unless you're using these tall tweezers. Your hand is just too big. They also work great for inserting fertilizer pellets, which are critical for root plants like the Amazon swords. I dispersed pellets in this tank in the heaviest planted sections. This is not looking the way I want it to look eventually, but what I would like to happen would be that the baby's tears, which are now tall, once they catch, I can mow them back and they can be a ground cover there in the front. The kabamba, which is in the back, the purple kabamba, hopefully will grow taller, and I will keep that trimmed back, but I want to cover a lot of the blue in the back of the aquarium. And then I'll cut back the ambulia a little bit so it is not quite as high as the kabamba behind it. But overall, I'm very, very happy with how the aquarium looks after the initial planting. Way better than the plastic plants. One last addition. Baby tears are so frustrating. I've never had any luck, but I ordered this already growing on lava rock, so keep your fingers crossed. Coming up in my next Fincast, we'll take a look at the fertilizer regimen for this aquarium. If this is your first time stopping by, please click the subscribe button. Say goodbye, Boone. Thanks for watching.